You're 17 years old and you live in a town where the only economy is the one they don't talk about. Your father works at a gas station that hasn't sold gas in 2 years. Your mother cleans houses for people who don't look her in the eye. You've watched your older brother disappear into that other economy. He came back with new shoes and a gold chain. Then, he didn't come back at all. But you're hungry. You're tired of being hungry. And one day, a man in a clean truck pulls up beside you and asks you if you want to make 200 pesos. Congratulations, you just became a halcon. Your job is the simplest in the organization. You watch. They give you a cheap radio and a burner phone and they point you to a street corner. You're now the eyes of a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. Your corner might be near a highway. It might be near a port. It might be near a police station. It doesn't matter. Your only task is to observe and report. A cop car that turns left instead of right, you call it in. A black SUV with tinted windows circles the block twice, you call it in. A face you don't recognize lingers too long near the stash house, you call it in. You're the cheapest, most disposable part of the machine. If the police grab you, you know nothing. You've never met anyone important. You don't know any names. You're designed to be arrested and released. A speed bump that buys the real operators 30 seconds of warning. Do this job long enough without getting caught, without falling asleep, without missing a single suspicious vehicle, and someone might notice. Someone might decide you're worth a little more. They promote you to distribution. Now you're handling product. Maybe you start as a tendero, a street-level dealer working a corner or a cantina, selling grams to addicts who can barely stand. Or maybe they see something else in you and make you a burrero, a mule. Your job is to move weight from one place to another. You might walk it across the desert with 50 pounds strapped to your back. You might drive it through a checkpoint in a car with a false bottom. You might swallow balloons filled with cocaine and pray your stomach acid doesn't eat through the latex before you reach the drop point. The risk here is astronomical. You're the most likely person in the entire organization to get arrested. You're also the most likely to get killed by rivals who want to steal the load. And your bosses have structured everything so that even if you wanted to talk to the police, you couldn't tell them anything useful. You don't know who's above you. You don't know where the product comes from. You only know the phone number of the man who gives you orders. And that phone will be dead by the time you're in handcuffs. Survive this. Get arrested and keep your mouth shut. Take a beating from rivals and don't give up the stash. Do this enough times and you'll develop a reputation. You're not just reliable, you're hard. And hard men get noticed by the people who need hard men. They hand you a rifle. You're a sicario now. You're now part of the armed wing of the corporation. Your currency is no longer product or information. It's fear. Your job is coercion. You protect the bosses. You run extortion rackets, collecting taxes from every business in your territory that wants to keep its windows intact. You kidnap the children of wealthy families and negotiate ransoms. And when the organization needs someone to stop breathing, you're the one who makes it happen. You hunt down rats and thieves within the organization. You make examples of people, not quick examples, slow ones. The kind that get photographed and posted online. The kind that makes other people think twice before they skim from the count or talk to the wrong person. But here's the thing about being a sicario. The ones who last aren't the ones who enjoy the killing. They're the ones who are good at planning. Can you map out an ambush? Can you anticipate escape routes? Can you manage a team of men who are all capable of terrible violence? Prove you have a tactical mind and not just a tolerance for blood, and you might get to lead your own crew. You become a teniente. You're a lieutenant now. You command your own squad of killers. When a plaza boss has a problem, a name he needs erased from the world, you're the one who gets the call. Your job is to turn that name into a body. But you're not kicking in doors anymore. You're a manager. You assign targets. You organize the weapons. You map out the getaway vehicles and secure the safe houses. You're also responsible for keeping your men paid, equipped, and loyal. A disloyal sicario is a bullet waiting to find your back. Everything you do flows up the chain as a single report. It's done. That's all the bosses want to hear. The details are your problem. Show this level of discipline and they'll see you can manage more than men. They'll see you can manage assets. And if you can manage assets, you're ready for the real business. They promote you to logistics. You are now the jefe de logística, the head of the entire supply chain. This is where the organization stops feeling like a gang and starts feeling like a Fortune 500 company. You're an international project manager. You don't just find routes, you engineer them. You're the one who figures out how to build a narco submarine in a jungle warehouse. You're the one who designs the false compartment in a tanker truck that can survive an X-ray. You identify which container ships have port workers who can be bought and which border crossings have customs agents who can be rented. You manage a fleet of aircraft using hidden airstrips carved out of farmland. You greenlight the construction of tunnels under the border, tunnels with rail systems, and ventilation and electricity. You establish networks of stash houses across 3 countries, and you personally vet every driver and pilot in your fleet, because one weak link can bring down a $100 million shipment. Your most important task is managing the bribes. You control the budget for paying off police, military, and customs officials. You don't just pay them, you cultivate them. You know their children's names, you know their debts, you know which ones can be trusted with a monthly envelope and which ones need to be reminded what happens to people who take their money and don't deliver. If a $50 million shipment gets seized, it's your head, literally. But move billions in product successfully, and you become one of the most valuable people in the organization, which creates a new problem. All that product generates mountains of cash, and cash is useless until it's clean. At this point in the structure, there are 2 parallel departments you need to understand. These aren't promotions, these are specialists. First is the production boss. This isn't a former sicario who worked his way up. This is a chemist. A chemical engineer recruited from a legitimate corporation and paid 10 times his old salary to run an industrial-scale manufacturing operation. He oversees super labs hidden in the jungle or mountains, complete with generators, dormitories, and security perimeters. He manages a global logistics operation just to smuggle in the precursor chemicals from suppliers in China and India. His job is maximizing yield and purity while maintaining zero signature. He masks the chemical smells, disposes of the waste, and keeps the whole operation invisible to drones and satellites. The second specialist is the financial architect, the cartel CFO. This person doesn't earn the job by moving up through violence. They get recruited, maybe from a top-tier accounting firm, maybe from an international bank. Their job is solving the cartel's single biggest problem: billions of dollars in small denomination physical cash. They build the laundering pipeline, shell companies in Panama, casinos and beach resorts, over-invoiced import-export businesses, cryptocurrency exchanges. They also manage payroll within the entire organization, from the lowest halcon to the highest-paid senator. Without this person, all the cartel's work produces nothing but piles of incriminating paper. You work with both of them. The cook supplies your product, the accountant cleans your money, but you're still a department head. You don't own anything. To get a true piece of the empire, you have to prove you can govern territory. They give you a plaza. You are now a jefe de plaza. A plaza isn't a town square. It's a strategic revenue-generating territory. It could be a key border crossing. It could be a major port. It could be an entire city. And you own it. You are the governor. Your first responsibility is collecting the peso, the floor tax. Every local drug dealer pays you. Every kidnapping crew pays you. Every extortion operation pays you. If someone wants to commit a crime in your territory, they pay you for the privilege. Your second responsibility is acting as the gatekeeper. The logistics bosses, the men who hold your old job, now report to you. They pay you a massive fee for the right of passage. You assign their smuggling slots. You guarantee their safe passage through your territory. If a shipment gets intercepted in your plaza, you're the one who answers for it. You're a public-facing warlord now, which makes you a primary target. Rival cartels want your territory. The military wants your head on television. You live in armored cars and safe houses. You never sleep in the same place twice. You trust no one because everyone around you has a price. Run one plaza without losing it, and maybe you're ready to run a region. They make you a jefe regional. You're a general now, a warlord overseeing an entire region of the country. You don't manage day-to-day operations anymore. You manage the plaza bosses. They answer to you. When the cartel wants to open a new smuggling corridor through a rival's territory, you're the one who plans the war. You draw on all your plazas for sicarios and resources. You coordinate the campaign. You're also the high judge. When the 2 of your plaza bosses go to war over a route, you arbitrate. Your word is final. If a plaza boss is underperforming, stealing, or attracting too much attention from the authorities, you're the one who decides whether he gets a warning or a funeral. You are the primary firewall for the man at the very top. You take his strategic vision and translate it into military and business operations. You're one of the only people in the entire organization who will ever speak to him directly. But even you are still an employee. There's one level left, the throne itself. You've made it. You've out-earned, outfought, and outlasted every other jefe regional. Maybe the old boss got arrested. Maybe he got killed. Maybe you simply took what was his. It doesn't matter now. The throne is yours. You are El Capo, El Patron, the Don. You are the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar global enterprise built on narcotics, violence, and corruption. And your life changes completely. You become a ghost. You'll never touch product again. You'll never personally order a hit. Your communications go through layers of intermediaries. Your face is known only to a handful of people. On paper, you are a legitimate businessman. You own construction companies, cattle ranches, shipping lines, resorts. You become a philanthropist. You donate to churches and build hospitals in poor neighborhoods. You become a political donor. Senators attend your birthday party. You don't talk to 99% of your own organization. You don't talk to plaza bosses. You talk only to your regional chiefs, the men who hold the position you just left. They carry your vision down the chain. You spend your days managing the highest level relationships. You negotiate truces and alliances with other capos from other cartels. You maintain relationships with cabinet ministers, federal judges, generals, not local police, the people who can control the local police. You're a billionaire. You own companies in 6 countries. You have yachts and private jets registered to shell companies that can never be traced back to you. Your children go to schools in Europe under assumed names. You live like a king, but you're also the most hunted person on the continent. Every intelligence agency in the Western Hemisphere has a file with your name on it. There's a bounty on your head large enough to make your own family think twice. You trust no one. You can't. The only people who could betray you are the ones close enough to know where you sleep. The irony is suffocating. You started with nothing. You watched and reported from a street corner for 200 pesos. You moved product through checkpoints with your heart in your throat. You killed men and planned the killing of others. You managed routes and territories and wars. You climbed over the bodies of everyone who got in your way. And now you're at the top. You have everything. Money beyond measure. Power beyond accountability. You can buy anyone. You can destroy anyone. But you can never go back to being a normal person. You can never walk down a street without bodyguards. You can never eat at a restaurant without someone tasting your food first. You can never see your family without wondering if today is the day someone decides to leverage them against you. You are free in every way except for the ones that matter. You know how this ends. You've seen it end for everyone who came before you. Arrest, extradition, a concrete cell in Colorado where you'll spend 23 hours a day in solitary until you die. Or a bullet, maybe from a rival, maybe from your own people, maybe from a special forces unit that got good intelligence from someone you trusted. There's no retirement. There's no exit. You rode the tiger all the way to the top, and now you can never climb off. You are El Capo. You run the cartel, but the cartel runs you too.